Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, December 10th. This is a podcast about knitting and crafting and books and baking and cats, but most importantly knitting because that is what I love to do the absolute most. If you would like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so if you want to go see my yarn advent calendar that I'm opening every day in the month of September from Suburban Stitcher, which I will talk about later in this episode. If you want to see what I get every day, go follow me over there. I am posting pictures. I have just received an email. Hopefully you didn't hear that. So that is really exciting. In addition to that, all the regular information, if you are interested in any of the links to the things that I will be talking about in this episode, all that stuff will be in my show notes. If you are on my blog, everything will be down below, or if you're on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below. Yes. Also, I apologize, I realize I just switched up the view, but my table that the camera normally sits on was much closer than it normally is, and I didn't really think about that before I started recording. So now it's been pushed back and that's all good. So we have lots of knitting, Christmas knitting to show you. Yes. So lots of that to show you. Today I will be opening up my advent calendar for the day. I haven't opened it yet, so I'll do that on camera, which is always fun. So, but we'll get into that in the actual episode. So, if you would like to grab something tasty to drink, I have a very full hot cup of tea because it's freezing. It's not literally freezing, but it feels like it's freezing, everyone, and especially in the apartment. We do have the heater turned on, but it's cold. It's cold. So a hot drink is in store. I really love this. I love that I can drink a hot drink and it doesn't make me sweat because I can do that in the summer, and that's never fun. So if you would like to go grab something tasty to drink, or something to snack upon, or something to work on if you're working on Christmas gifts, or an animal to snuggle, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So, like I said, I have Christmas presents well, I guess they are Christmas presents. Christmas present progress, whatever. I'm making a lot of Christmas gifts this year. I've made some progress. I get to show you that today. I'm also working on an advent cowl this year. My mom and I are doing a yarn advent calendar for the first time. We are loving it. It is absolutely amazing. If you've never done a yarn advent calendar, it is so much fun. How can you not be happy with opening up a mini skein of yarn every single day? That being said, I haven't opened today's. We are doing the Suburban Stitcher, her advent calendar. Her theme is holiday Christmas movies, so I'll be opening that up later in the episode. I don't remember what today's is, but I've been loving it so far. It's been so much fun. I also do have some yarn acquisitions. I have no shame. No shame at all. It's okay. You know what? Treat yourself. Been on a yarn diet for a while. Been really, really good. So I thought it was okay. We could do that first. We could do whatever. What are we talking about? I don't know. It's not like I can discuss with you what you would like to see. Also, my hair is just a massive puff in addition to this scarf thing. What is today? Everyone, let's just have a real life moment for a little bit, shall we? It's been one of those days. It's not a bad day, but it's just a day where you have like no motivation to do anything that you need to do. Like things such as laundry, or doing the kitty litter, or changing the sheets on the bed, or real life adult items like that. It's just one of those days where you feel very low motivation. You just want to sit on the couch and knit or read or do both, drink tea because it's cold, watch Christmas movies, That's what I felt like doing all day. Not doing the laundry, not cleaning the kitchen, not doing the kitty litter. But those things do need, and some of them have to happen, because I don't want little kitty poops outside the box, which my cat often does. So, we're just having a real life moment. You know what? It happens to everyone, and that's okay. You have a rough day and you just don't feel like doing anything, but somehow you power through and you get it all done, and then in the evening you feel really good about yourself. Or you just kind of go easy on yourself and don't do the non-important things. So that is what my day has been like so far. Like I said, not a bad day. It's just a busy day. So I do have yarn progress. I do have finished items to show you. And let's just get into that now, shall we? Oh no! That was a very odd reaction. I do apologize. So things have been moved around in this room. My husband has gotten his college desk, and so it has now in the place where my piano used to be. My piano was over there. Boxes of yarn that I had like balanced very nicely got moved, and now one has just slightly fallen, and I'm holding it up with my knee right now. And it also involves a lot of finished objects and some yarn on the bottom, and it's about to fall on everything. Why is it this way? That was a bad idea to put that on that. Okay, well anyway, we'll fix that when that's done. So, I do have a finished object. This is a shawl, the Onette shawl, surprise, surprise, number 3 out of 6. So I have started number 4, which I will show you. This is a very easy garter stitch shawl. It's a free pattern. It's a fingering weight on a size 8, which is really nice. So garter stitch, and then you've got these little rows of eyelets on the bottom. I do apologize, I showed you that and the joining of the yarn. Let's show you a nice edge right there, I think. I can't actually see through that. There we go. So it's very nice. I don't remember which is the right side or the wrong side, but they're both nice. I know I should remember, but I don't. So it's really very good. I do have enough yarn left over from each of my Onette shawls to make little tassels for the end. These will be Christmas presents for various friends and family. I am very excited about these. That being said, I am ready to be done with this pattern. It's not a bad pattern. We had this long conversation last week. When I have a deadline, when this is something that I am like either obligated or have put this deadline upon myself, I don't want to do it. So it's a great pattern. It is really a good pattern. I am just, this is number, like I said, this is number 3 out of 6. So I'm halfway, a little bit more than halfway with these guys, which is really good. Which one is this in? Haha, I opened the right one. I've got 2 Christmas bags I'm trotting around. This one, they're both stitched by Jessalou, my favorite. I just think they're so cute. And it just is very like, oh, put me in a Christmassy mood because I'm carrying around Christmassy project bags. So this is number 2 that I knit mostly on Saturday and got a poop ton of progress. Pretty awesome. I did not finish the first ball of yarn. That was my goal. Very lofty goal. It has happened before, but that did not happen. But I did get a lot done. So this is good. This is number 4 out of 6. I am very excited about it. All of them have been knit out of Knit Picks palette. This is the Aurora Heather colorway. Please focus. There we go. So it's just like a very beautiful emerald green and I'm very happy with how this is turning out. So with Knit Picks palette, I have 2 balls of each color. Like I said, I do have a little bit left over from the second ball to make little tiny tassels. If not, I have a ton of palette laying around, and I'll just find like a gray or a neutral color to add on. Nothing fancy there. So this was a conversation that I had with you guys several weeks ago. Which is crazy because it doesn't seem that long ago, but it really was several weeks ago, is how what am I trying to say? How much an effect your needles can have on your project that you're working on. I am so glad that I made the decision before I even started to get nice ChiaoGoo size 8s, because like for real, if I didn't have these nice needles, I wouldn't be knitting as fast. I would really not be enjoying. Look how sharp those tips are compared to regular like Addi Turbos. I love them. I know these aren't the sharpest out there, but like these are just so amazing and I love them so much. They make my life so easy. So fun times. Can't go wrong with nice needles. If you are struggling with a project and you don't know why, are you using the right needles for you? Think about it. Are you using the right needles? They might change your life. These have literally changed my Christmas knitting game. So that's really good. I highly recommend just making sure that you like the needles that you're working with, because they can really be a game changer. And I've said this so many times in so many different ways, so I'm just repeating myself. I do apologize. Like I said, it's been one of those days. Moving on. So my next Christmas project is living in this another Stitch by Jessie Lou bag. Can't go wrong. I love them. I've had these for many years. They have served me very well and will continue to serve me well. So I finished this hat, which is for a family member or friend. We won't know. I know. You don't know. Unless you've come into the yarn store, which I totally forgot to mention. What is wrong with me today? If you are unaware, if you are new to the podcast, I work at a yarn store. It is called The Modern Skein in Montgomery, Texas. If you would like to see any of the information about the yarn store or our social medias, please check out that information in the show notes. We also have an online store, or if you are in the area or you're local to Montgomery or just the general Houston area, we would love to see you. We would love to have you come hang out with us. We have a movie afternoon coming up this coming Saturday on the 15th, and then on the 22nd we have extended hours, so we'll be open from 9 to 6. Usually we're open from 10 to 5. So on the 22nd, we will be having an ugly Christmas sweater party. So if you want to come and it'll be sit and stitch all day, come hang out, please join us with your crazy Christmas sweater, whatever that might be. We would love to have you. But what I was saying, which reminded me that I hadn't said that I work at a yarn store, if you come to the yarn store and are a regular, you probably have heard me said who this might be for. But I'm not going to mention that just in case someone might be watching. So, see, you learn secret information if you come to the yarn store. It's not super secret information, nor do you probably really care, but it is information. So yes, this is the Ratuli hat. I'm such a huge fan of how these decreases turn out, especially with the stripes. Like, oh, so good. There's something incredibly satisfying about hat decreases that turn out really well and are just beautiful. And it's very hard to hold open. Ta-da! That's kind of okay. It's a free pattern, like I said. If I didn't say that already, it's a free pattern. Now you know, 3 times. Fingering weight, again, surprise, surprise, this is Knit Picks palette. I knit these on a size 3. This is my 3rd one out of 5, so I'm definitely on the downward hill slope of this. So that's very exciting. I have now moved on to bigger and better things in regards to yarn combinations. Also, if you're new to the podcast and are not aware, I am an Aggie. I went to A&M. I am class of 16. So I have family members and friends, and myself included, also my husband, are massive maroon fans. Hence the maroon. Though maroon is a very wonderful color, besides the fact that it is an A&M color, we like it especially because it is beautiful and college color. So, a college color. Excuse me, that was grammatically incorrect. So, I finished that. My next hat is going to be for someone that I will not mention who. Should I mention who? I don't really know. It's going to be for a family member. Let's just say that. And I had colors picked out all ready to go, and I didn't necessarily need to order anything, so it wasn't a big deal. And then we had a realization, or figured out, that this person is a strong Hufflepuff. So the colors got changed, and I needed to get Hufflepuff yarn. So that is actually on its way. It should be in the mailbox, hopefully today or tomorrow, so I can continue on with my Hufflepuff yarn. So I cast on for another hat that I'm hesitant to mention because I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure my husband doesn't watch the podcast, but I'm not positive. Should I mention it? I don't know. Oh, the woes of podcasting. You don't know who actually watches it. I mean, you do if they tell you, but other than that, you don't know. Oh, I know. Okay. So, if you are, again, if you're new to the podcast, my husband is a huge, huge Astros fan. He loves the Astros. We live in Houston, the Houston area. I feel like I'm just repeating irrelevant information at this point. So the Astros are really very special to him, and there is a yarn dyer who is also from Houston. She lives in the Heights area. Her yarn company is called Amanda Hope Yarn, and she happened to have at the Houston Fiber Fest a colorway called Go Astros Go. Is that not so beautiful in an Astros colorway? Like, that is so much fun. So Sam, my husband, is getting another Ratuli hat out of this yarn. I am not striping it. The yarn is doing all of this by itself. It is awesome and wonderful, and I'm so excited about this. I had this planned. I had his Christmas present figured out all the way back in June when the Houston Fiber Fest happened because of this yarn. So thank you, Amanda Hope Yarn, for solving my husband knitterly problems for Christmas presents. I am so happy with this. It's so much fun to knit. It's just great. And see what's also awesome? This was sneaky planning on my part. Since the hats that I have been making are for male heads that are usually bigger than my head, so I can't really use my head as a, does this hat fit? Is this long enough? Is this big enough yet? Because if I went off of my head, it would be too small. So I use Sam's head to measure. So I know what hat will fit him just right. And I've knitted 3 hats so far that fit him, so I can follow those measurements to a T and make sure that it fits him perfectly. I felt pretty proud of that fact. I didn't really think about that until I started this hat, and then I was like, oh, I've already figured out what fits his head without him knowing. How perfect. So yes, I'm very excited about this. He has not seen this yarn. I've done a very good job of hiding it, surprisingly, except there might have been one time that he might have seen it, but I don't think it was for a very quick, like, couple of seconds. He might not have realized what it was. So yes, this is the Go Astros Go colorway from Amanda Hope Yarn. I'm not sure if she still has it, but I'll definitely link her shop and her stuff in the show notes. I would highly recommend going and checking her out because she's got some amazing, beautiful stuff. Yay. So once I finish the Astros hat, I will just have the Hufflepuff hat left, which after that, I'll be done with the hats, which is amazing because there's other things that need to be knit that are smaller and won't take as much time, but they still need to be knit, and I just don't know. Some of these things, okay, I always forget this, and I need to have this constant reminder of it's okay, not all of these things need to be done for Christmas Day. Because if I'm like mailing something, or if I'm going to be seeing someone like a week later and I have a text message, and so not everything has to be done on Christmas Day. But I always forget that, and then I freak myself out that everything's not going to get done in time for Christmas Day. But I don't need to worry about that, everyone. I don't need to worry about it. So, moving right along with my knitting projects. This is all over the place in my bag. Okay. I think I got everything. Oh, my keys are down there. I didn't realize they were in that bag. Whoopies. Reminder that my keys are in that bag. My car keys. So, this is my Advent project, which I think is just so much fun. I think it's really cool that once we're done with this, we will still have this cowl and we can look back at it and be like, oh, that was 2018. That's what we did, and that's really cool. And it's also just kind of like a big memory project of December in itself. Okay, so I've got lots of little bits and pieces from this thing because it is like a bunch of minis. I'm not going to show you the minis because they're all they're not messed up, but they're just all kind of tangled in my bag. I do have the one from yesterday, the 9th, in my hand. So like I said, my mom and I are doing the Suburban Stitcher Advent Yarn Calendar. It is amazing. I believe they are 20-gram skeins, and then we have a full skein for the 24th, which is really exciting. I have them all lined up in a little box with my list in my project bag, so I always know, because I always forget. And like I said, if you have been following me on Instagram, I've been posting every day. Usually, I don't think I did one yesterday. Whoops. Mostly every day of a black and white picture and then a spoiler picture. So, if you have this yarn advent calendar and haven't opened up until day 9, because I'm going to do day 10 later, please, I don't want to spoil you, so look away. I don't want to spoil you. So here's what I have so far. We are doing the Amba O'Brien Adventure Wrap and Cowl. We are doing the cowl version. It's knit on the bias, so that's why it looks kind of wonky right now. I don't really know how to show it, but I think it's beautiful. It's so much fun. That being said, this pattern is not a mindless pattern. It is definitely a stop, wait, what am I doing pattern, especially a particular couple of rows. But that's okay. You know what? It's almost in a way kind of like a arresting, stopping, and thinking about something, and just taking some time out of your day every single day to just stop, work on this project, focus on your thing, maybe kind of chill, and then you're done. And so it's a nice way to like make sure that you have some time to stop and rest, and so you're not constantly just going, and you really just kind of like, I'm scheduling into my day time to open this, time to wind them, time to finish up what I might not have completed yesterday, and then do today's color. And I think that's really cool, and that's just an aspect of an aspect of a Advent yarn calendar that I had not thought about until recently, that you are setting aside time to like just sit and rest. And I know that like with knitters, we're always knitting, we're always sitting and resting or whatever, whether our bodies are resting or our minds are resting or whatever. But there's a lot of times that life gets in the way, and that's okay. Sometimes that has to happen, and it's not like it's a bad thing, but sometimes you just don't have time to sit in it. And especially during the holidays, things can get just so busy, so much fun, so much happiness and joy and friends and family, but sometimes you don't always have time to sit and knit. And so I think it's cool that the Advent calendar, in a time of like really busyness, is a way to be like, okay, it's time for me to sit, open my yarn, knit my Advent calendar, maybe knit a little bit after that, but just to make sure that you have the goal of the Advent calendar getting done. And I mean, if it doesn't happen, that's okay, but this is not like a pressure. It's not, you're not supposed to feel bad if you didn't get it done that day, because that would be really sad. We don't want to feel bad about not doing an Advent calendar. So yeah, I just think that's really fun. It's been a good way for me to just kind of like reflect, I guess, on the week and just the month and even the year, seeing that it's the end of the year and just everything that's gone on, and I really like it. It's really fun. There's a lot of different ways you can do Advent calendars. Yarn is not the only one, but yarn is probably my favorite. So I think it's super fun. That got really deep and intellectual, kind of. Apologies. I just really like the idea of the Advent calendar, the yarn Advent calendar, for multiple reasons. And sitting and just chilling is one of them. So this is what we have so far. I don't remember. Oh, last week I had the question of why is this one yellow? I did get some answers. Through comments, ladies at the yarn store, which I do appreciate your answers. And then also I watched Diane, the Suburban Stitcher, her Vlogmas, and she explained why it was yellow. So let's go, I'm going to go over these colors with you. So this bottom green one, what am I holding on to? This bottom green one is called You're a Mean One. This one is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The yellow one is based off the movie cover of Christmas in Connecticut because it is a bright yellow. The next one is called Charlie Brown's Christmas Tree. It's beautiful. This one is called, this purple one is called You Are What the French Call Les Incompetents, or Les Incompetents, from Home Alone. This one, this red one, is from Jingle All the Way, which I had not seen until yesterday. My husband was quite horrified when he found out that I hadn't seen it. So this red one is called Sleazy Con Men in Red Suits. Now I understand that reference. I had not before. This beautiful gray one here is called George Bailey, I'll Love You Till the Day I Die, from It's a Wonderful Life. This next one is probably my favorite, this creamy, rosy, oh, it's just so pretty. This one kind of here. That one's called It's a Wonderful Life, just It's a Wonderful Life by itself. And then this top one, which I have the ball of with me, is called You Taught Me All I Know About Exterior Illumination from the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So that is all that I have so far. I did in fact finish yesterday's, so I'm all caught up with my knitting. Let us open number 10. And what is today? I'm really glad that I thought to put this list in my bag because I always forget. Okay, day 10. Oh, this is funny. Aunt Bethany's Lime Jello, also from the Christmas Vacation. So that is very, very exciting. Okay. We're gonna open this. Drum roll, please. Which is funny. If you've seen the Christmas Vacation, you will understand that reference. Which is entertaining because today's and yesterday's was based off of the Christmas Vacation. I am rambling. Let's now open. We watched this movie on Saturday night, I think. Ooh. This is so much fun. So this is Aunt Bethany's Lime Jello from my Christmas Vacation. She, if you're not familiar with the movie, this particular scene, an elderly aunt, an elderly Aunt Bethany has arrived at the Griswold's house for Christmas. She has a couple of packages. One of them she has wrapped up her own cat, and the other one she has wrapped up her lime jello mold, and it starts melting. And so that's what that is. But it's a lovely, lovely lime green with like little pops of pink, and there's some more red and brown in there too. I think this will be stunning next to this one. Fun times. I'm very excited. So, I will set aside time later to wind this up. I will set aside time to knit upon this today, and I will love every second of it. This is, I just love opening advent calendars, especially yarn. It's just so much fun. I love it. Okay, so yes, yay advent calendars. Do an advent calendar next year if you can. They are so amazing. So I haven't had too much knitting really to show you, just because it's all been Christmas knitting and it hasn't been like super, super exciting. The time will come, my friends. The time will come where my selfish knitting will come back and it will become interesting knitting again. I do promise. That being said, I did buy some yarn, but I'm not gonna beat myself up about it because it was a treat yourself moment. Modern Skein, the yarn store that I work at, we had a trunk show this past Saturday of Savvy Skeins, which is super fun. It was a delight to get to hang out with Allie and Madeline Allie's the owner and Madeline is one of her daughters. It was super fun to get to hang out with them and just hang out and knit and look at their yarn, and I came away with 2 skeins. I love her yarn. I don't have very much of it, but I do have some. The brioche kerchief thing by Lavanya is with one of her Savvy Skeins colors. I don't remember what, it's like Pixie or something like that. And then I have another one that's like in a bag somewhere to be put into a faded shawl, I think. I could be wrong. So I got some more because how could you say no to these beautiful colors and just all of her beautiful yarn in general. This is a Sensible sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon in the Laguna colorway. I love this. This one's about to roll off my lap. So it's a lot of like grays and teals and like neon greens, and I love these speckles. This is what really kind of spoke to me. I also don't really have anything like this, which was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do something out of my comfort zone. just go for it. So Savvy Skeins, they are from New Braunfels. They came to town for this trunk show. It was super fun. I will link all their information in the show notes. Please go check them out. Please buy their yarn. They are amazing and so sweet. And then I also got some of her Optimum DK, which I've never tried her DK weight before. It's 100% superwash merino. And this is the Mountain Gem colorway. Again, I mean, these are colors that I've had before, and this is no surprise that I got these. But I wanted something that would be a little bit more variegated, I guess, because of the pattern that I'm going to be using, maybe. I think it'll be a cowl. And then this one will be a big fingering weight shawl knit on a very large needle, so it will be very drapey and open. I have two in mind, and I don't remember either of their names off the top of my head, unfortunately. But I will try and link them in the show notes. So I'm very excited about these two things. I do have plans. I have patterns in mind. I needed some yarn. I mean, and if you're sitting there all day, I've gotten good at resisting buying yarn usually, which is hard when you work in a yarn store. I've gotten pretty good at like resisting, saying no. But just these colors, having the new trunk show in, there was just so much of it, which is amazing. I couldn't say no. So I'm very excited about these things. I think this is just so much fun. I am proud of myself for doing something outside of my comfort zone. Although that being said, it is kind of colors that I would be drawn towards. It's just that I don't really have a lot of it. Or I haven't knit with the, and I say this and I have this bright thing right there. But I don't know. How many ways can I show this to you guys? It's just so pretty. Oh, I wanted so much more of their yarn. I wanted all the yarn. There was one colorway that I just really loved called English Tea, and it was stunning, but I think it got bought. But it was beautiful, and also the name, how can you go wrong? I'm one of those people where if it's got a fancy name about something that I love, I have to have it. English Tea being one of them. So I'm very excited about these items, and they're just very special. It was a fun day. They're good memories. Good memories. So please go check out Savvy Skeins. They are amazing. Their yarn is incredible. Customer service is great. Super high yarn quality. Would highly recommend. Please go check them out. So, in regards to books, I do apologize. I'm looking up the book that I'm currently listening to. Last week I mentioned that I'm reading a book about Jane Seymour. I got so close. I am about like 50 pages left, 40 pages left, and then it got returned to the library, and now I have to wait for it to come back. Like, I'm on hold, and I'm just so upset. So that's kind of a bummer. But I have obtained other books. I'm listening to one, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but there's a children's book series that I started earlier this year. I listened to the first one. It's called The Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place by Mary Rose Wood. The first one is super fun. The second one that I'm currently listening to is called The Hidden Gallery. It is a combination of a lot of things that I love dearly or am familiar with. So first of all, it would be like a mixture of Mary Poppins and Nanny McPhee. Great things. Love those. Read all the Mary Poppins books. Love them dearly. Also, who's excited for the new Mary Poppins movie? I am so excited. The other books that it's very similar to would be either Lemony Snicket, which I have not read those, but I am very familiar with them, or The Mysterious Benedict Society, which I have read, loved them, adored them. If you have not read them, they are also very good. So it's like that kind of weird, odd storytelling, but there's also a nanny involved, which would be the Mary Poppins and Nanny McPhee, and then there's also a little bit of the Five Children and It and E. Nesbit, and just kind of like very dry British humor, and like it's kind of one of those things, like, you know how when you go to like a Pixar movie or something, like a Disney movie, and there's a couple of jokes that are meant for older people or adults, and the children don't necessarily get, but the movie makers are just kind of like, well, here's something funny for the adults because they're probably going with their children and we want them to laugh as well. I feel like there's a lot of stuff in these books that are like not necessarily little kids would get, but it's just very funny things. I don't know, it's very hard to describe. I would really recommend it if you were a fan of like British humor or just any of the books that I've mentioned already. I would highly recommend it. They're very easy to listen to. The audiobook's about 5 hours and the reader is awesome, so if you can find it on Audible, I'm sure that would be great, but I'm sure reading it would be also a pleasure. It's just easier sometimes to listen to things while you're doing other things if you're busy, like doing the kitty litter, life things. It's super fun. I would highly recommend it. It makes me laugh. It may be a children's book, but it's still super fun. You can still enjoy children's books even though you are an adult. That is okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would highly recommend them. The Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place by Mary Rose Wood. It'll be linked in the show notes, don't worry. In addition to that, I have started reading a book by a fantasy author that I really enjoy. Her name is Juliet Marillier. She wrote Wildwood Dancing, which is a different storytelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, that fairy tale. It is so good. I've reread that book so many times. Please read it. It is so good. She also did a book called Sybil's Secret. Those two books are more on the young adult children's, not really children's book, but like in the younger young adult books. Her fantasy books, I actually don't remember what the name of the one that I'm reading is called, but she's got a lot of series and a lot of like really well written stuff. I'm not very far into it, the book that I'm reading by her, but I do enjoy it. It's just that I haven't had a lot of time. So, because like I said, you can't change the kitty litter and read a book at the same time. You can listen to one, but you can't read one. So, oh well, that's okay. Baking wise, I really haven't had a whole lot of time to do any baking really, which is very sad. I feel like there has been a baking shaped hole in my life recently that has not been filled. But Christmas cookie time is coming. I'm trying to figure out when to actually make them, because the sugar cookies that we decorate is a must. That must always happen. It has to happen. The question is when. So I'll probably make the dough sometime this week, and then next week, hopefully in the evening, Sam and I can decorate them together. That was something that my family and I always did every single year. It has always been such a fun thing to do together, and I want that tradition to continue on with Sam and I, and just all that jazz. So I'm very excited. We did that last year for the first time together, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it this year. Hopefully next week. In regards to any other baking that I plan on doing, I don't know. There's other cookies that I want to make, but it just depends on the time, really. I don't know. I don't know. That being said, I do have a Christmas party that I'm going to next week, and I need to bring a dessert. So we'll figure something out. That's next week. We'll worry about that when it's next week. This is the beginning of this week. We won't worry about next week right now. But that is very exciting. This Christmas party that I'm going to, there will be a small ornament exchange. I plan on knitting mine. So that is very exciting. I don't know what I will be knitting, but there are plenty out there, plenty of options. I'm very excited to pick which one and do it. So I think that is all that I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to follow me on any of my social medias and keep up with my Advent yarn calendar stuff, you can follow me on Instagram. That's where I'll be posting, but I also have Twitter, Facebook, and Ravelry. If you'd like to see any of the things that I have discussed in this episode, go check out those books. They are really good. Please do that. All that stuff will be in the show notes. If you are on my blog, everything will be down below, or if you're on YouTube, everything will be in, or the link will be in the down bar. So, yes. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I hope you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. If you are still on the road of Christmas crafting, more power to you. I know you can do it. We're all cheering each other along. I know I can do it too, but it doesn't feel like it right now. But it'll get there. I know it will be fine. My goal is just so that I'm not up really late on Christmas Eve. That is my goal. So, yes. If you are Christmas crafting, or even if you're just really busy this holiday season with whatever you may be celebrating, or just spending time with friends and family, that you do have time to sit down and knit, because I know for me that if I don't knit even a little bit during the day, my day feels weird. It just doesn't feel right. I feel a little bit off. So I hope you get that little bit of knitting time, no matter how long or how short. It can really do a lot. It really helps. So if you can snag that time, probably should. And so with that, I'm gonna go. I have a laundry to transfer. I have a bed to make. I have a lot of things to do still, including edit this podcast, but that's okay. You know what? Because I'm gonna make time for my Advent cowl, and I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be great. I also have Christmas shopping to do online, because it's more easy to do online, kind of, really. So yes, that is what I'm going to be doing now. Thank you again so much for coming and spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I guess I'll see you guys next week. Bye.